Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of All Angles. I'm Dion Jackson. In today's program, we're going to be talking about grief, the impact of violence, and the grief left behind in the wake of that violence. It's something I don't think we talk about enough. Now, my colleague, Amoy Harriott, one of our producers here on All Angles, has done a very special report called Grief After Gunfire. What's it about?
All right, so Dion, you mentioned a while ago that we don't talk about this topic enough. We're about a month shy of 1 year since the Cherry Tree Lane mass shooting. And if you remember, last year, following that shooting, we had a series of other mass shootings. So I felt it fitting at this time to have this conversation. So the report, it details the mental aftermath and the emotional roller coaster that mass shooting survivors experience following these incidents. In the report, we get to hear their stories. We get to kind of have a first-hand experience or witness the life that they're now living, because what happens for a lot of these persons or victims is that after the shooting, their life never goes back to normal. So we kind of get an understanding of that life that they're now living.
Okay, well, Amoy will be back on the back end to talk to us a little bit more, but right now let's go to Grief After Gunfire.
The headlines name the dead, but there are other victims, alive, but barely.
This scar, these wounds, this stress, depression, they can't go away.
August 11, 2024, the day Debian Hamilton Francis's life changed forever.
It's the most brutal gun attack in recent history and modern Jamaica. 17 people were shot, 8 fatally, as thugs went on a rampage in Cherry Tree Lane in South Clarendon on Sunday night.
You see 2 years, so you see 1 day, so you go back here, so you see 2 days. Hey! Blood everywhere, marrow everywhere, you know, everybody running up and down. Some people get wounded by running.
Debian managed to escape. Her husband, her daughter, and her cousin didn't.
I can see my child lying on the ground, lifeless. She lifeless. Where I feel they're telling me that she don't gone, but I can feel it because I feel my body transform in a different way.
Officials said the massacre was the most heinous in recent history. It was one of several mass shootings in Jamaica in 2024. In the United States, which defines a mass shooting as an incident in which 4 or more people are injured or killed, there were over 500 mass shootings in 2024 alone, resulting in over 700 fatalities and over 2,000 injuries.
From schools to malls, universities, public parks, people on their front porch, their front steps.
Jamaican authorities don't use the term mass shooting. Instead, they use the term multi-victim violent incidents in which 2 or more people are injured or killed. Dr. Jason Mackay is a noted criminologist and district constable in the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
The term mass shooting has become more popular because of what happens in the United States with mass shooting, which generally is not what happens here, where somebody usually mentally disturbed goes into a supermarket and kills random people.
The reality is different in Jamaica.
What we have is a gang-on-gang attack that usually goes bad. Unfortunately, in many cases, it involves innocent persons being killed because of the nature of a mass shooting. Because, you know, it's not surgical where you're going for one guy. Or even if you did go for one guy, you're going for him at a bingo party, or you're going for him at a night.
Different countries, but similar horror. September 30, 2024, 8 shot, 4 killed in Betheltown, Westmoreland. October 4, 2024, 7 shot, 2 killed in Mandeville, Manchester. October 9, 2024, 6 shot, 1 killed in Cassava Peace, Kingston. October 21, 2024, 7 shot, 5 killed in Rockford, Kingston. November 25, 2024, 6 shot, 5 killed on Waltham Park Road in Kingston. For each shooting, some victims escaped death, but pieces of them died at the crime scene.
Right now, me mad, but don't go through me night out a garbage pan. I'm a mad woman because I got a doctor just the other day. I couldn't take the pain in my head no more. The doctor said my brain shock.
Deborah Smith is an associate clinical psychologist. She has years of experience treating survivors of gun violence.
We don't really recommend that, especially in the first few days or the few weeks afterwards, that they do try to get some counseling. Give the mind a chance to kind of process what has happened. Because when a mass shooting occurs, it's normally very, very shocking. It's a shock to their senses, it's a shock to their mind.
A study published in the academic journal Annals of Internal Medicine in April 2022 revealed that survivors of any gun violence have more than a 50% increase in psychiatric disorders after the incident and an 85% increase in substance abuse disorders. Further, the World Health Organization has reported that individuals exposed to violence are at a significantly higher risk of developing mental health disorders. Locally, according to a 2025 study, Jamaicans living in neighborhoods perceived as high in crime and disorder were 1.5 times more likely to have depressive symptoms than those in low disorder communities. For survivors, it's a mental roller coaster with symptoms like anxiety, depression, loss of sleep and appetite, among many others.
Those who have died, their family members may suffer from what we call survivor's guilt. So they may be thinking, why wasn't it me, or why didn't I die alongside them, especially if they were injured. The same feeling can happen with neighbors as well and friends.
A number of people develop post-traumatic stress disorder. And so with PTSD, they can have intrusive thoughts. So they're often trying not to think about it, but there are various triggers or reminders that bring it up for them. It can be going to a neighborhood that was similar to where it happened, returning to school, returning to a church where the shooting took place. A certain scent can remind them of the shooting. And so triggers and intrusive memories and intrusive thoughts. People have flashbacks and nightmares.
Like Simon, he's also a survivor of the Cherry Tree Lane massacre.
So you tell me, say, at daytime when you're walking past this bridge, you can't even look over?
No, man, I don't tell them, man. I don't make me there, so. But when I pass, I look over, so. I can't look over.
The shooting started at that container you're currently looking at. Simon had to run all the way down from the container to this bridge, and in an effort to save his life, he had to jump off the bridge. Now the attacker chased Simon, stood right here and fired about 4 shots at Simon. Now at the time, he was hit in the leg. Simon told us he didn't realize until a few days after the incident.
I eat this.
Oh.
See there? I just say contact. Pliers me was and take you out over the mechanic shop. 4 days after I find it.
So on the day itself, you never feel it?
No, I never tell you, I don't know nothing. I know it's a sitting joke me, I say a piece of tick. But when I take out, I say, I know it's a shot this year.
And he's not the only one.
My big daughter that had the business place out there, the wire ripped her from here, ripped her breast, ripped her arm, She had scar to show.
For some, their scars aren't so visible. Over in Kingston, Marcia Mardner was at Waltham Park Road the day of the shooting that claimed 5 lives in October last year. Her son is among the dead.
I believe I me cry the less. I can't. Me would cry, but you just see water run down. But not that bawling and that drop down there. I don't know if anytime soon me go get to that stage, but me not do it. With nobody at all did. But it hurt here very much. And I think it's not good for me. But it's like, no.
What do you mean when you say that? When you say it's not good for you?
You hear them say, don't bungle up things inside, let it out with tears. So mentally, I consider myself strong. I hear a lot of people come at the gate and say, boy, Chicky, would I like to know the material you make out of? I say, everybody make out a different material. But when you look on each person, we look like one another. But mentally, make out of something different.
The tragic murder of her son has Marcia questioning her faith.
Oftentimes I say to the Creator, when make me and you and make him, according to the word. I have to question him because they not see him at the maker. What do I do now without a husband and son? What do I do? Where I go from here? I can't figure it out. I just say to myself, anything and anything right now.
For some people, especially if they are spiritual, they may start to question whoever it is that they worship, thinking about the unfairness of the whole thing.
Bishop Courtney Beeson has seen this firsthand. He's pastor for the Mountain View New Testament Church of God. The church stands in the heart of a crime hotspot.
Not because you are experiencing that situation at that moment, it means that you should turn your back on God.
If you could look at that interview that I just mentioned, to say something to her in a moment where she finds herself losing faith in God, what exactly would be the words of encouragement that you give to her?
Something like that, I would let them know that this is not the time to give up on God. What has happened does not define who you are, and it will not change your situation. So persons in that moment need to understand that if they keep the faith and keep on trusting God, things will eventually become better.
Okay, so we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have the conclusion of Grief After Gunfire. We'll be hearing from some guests as well. I want to hear from you, so I want to remind you of our WhatsApp line. It's 876-254-0693. That's 876-254-0693. Give us your first name, give us your general location. We'll soon come.